In 1655, long before the Haitian Revolution or the cries of liberty swept through the French Caribbean, the island of Jamaica witnessed one of the earliest acts of African freedom in the New World. When English forces invaded the Spanish colony, a desperate decision by the Spanish rulers would forever change the island's destiny. They freed their enslaved Africans. At that time, Jamaica was a Spanish possession called Santiago, dotted with small plantations, ranches, and settlements run by a few hundred Europeans who relied on the labor of Africans brought through the brutal transatlantic slave trade. Life for those enslaved people was marked by hunger, punishment, and despair. Yet, beneath that suffering, they preserved the rhythms, beliefs, and warrior spirit carried from Africa. When the English fleet under Admiral William Penn and General Robert Venables arrived in 1655 to seize Jamaica, the Spanish governor, Don Cristobal Arnaldo Izazi, realized that his forces were too weak to resist.
Facing defeat, he made a fateful offer: freedom to all enslaved Africans who would help fight against the English.
Many seized the opportunity, turning their chains into weapons of resistance. But when the Spanish were eventually overpowered, those Africans refused to submit to new English masters. Rather than return to slavery, they fled into the island's mountainous interior, especially the wild and uncharted cockpit country, where they formed independent communities. These freedom fighters became known as the Maroons, from the Spanish word cimarron, meaning wild or untamed. They lived by their own laws, built hidden villages, and used their knowledge of the land to wage guerrilla warfare against the British. For decades, they fought to maintain their freedom, striking swiftly from the forests and vanishing into the hills. Leaders like Cudjo, Nani, and Akompong emerged as symbols of defiance and skill, guiding their people through generations of resistance. This act of liberation, triggered by Spain's defeat, occurred more than a century before the enslaved people of Saint-Domingue, modern-day Haiti, rose up to win their independence. It was one of the earliest large-scale moments in the Americas when Africans, once enslaved, took control of their destiny and created free societies on their own terms. The Spanish had not intended to spark a lasting rebellion. They sought only to save themselves in a losing war. But their decision unleashed a movement that could not be contained. The Maroons of Jamaica would go on to inspire countless others across the Caribbean and the Americas, proving that freedom, once tasted, could never be forgotten. From that turbulent year of 1655, a new chapter in Jamaica's story began. One written not by conquerors, but by the once enslaved